All right, we're about ready to get things started here. I hope everyone is having a terrific Thursday. Hi, Mary. I'm walking across my keyboard again. Darn cat. Anyway, so I got a couple of news stories tonight, just so that one I can at least have, something to put out on Sunday. So not really news because it literally came across my desk just like a few minutes ago. So brief Linkin Park stuff, very brief because it's just rumor right now, not confirmed, just rumor. But there's a rumor going on that next week during the League of Legends World Championship, we are going to see the debut of the next new single from Linkin Park, titled Heavy is the Crown. And a lot of this is kind of speculated because, well, one, the official League of Legends esports Twitter account replied in support of Linkin Park's return back when they did the return concert stream a few weeks ago. And on top of that, I guess Mike Shinoda has done some announcer slash commentary stuff for League of Legends esports in the past, so you have that connection. There was the speculation that they were gonna be a part of the Arcane Season 2 soundtrack, but the Arcane Season 2 soundtrack the artists affiliated with the soundtrack of Season 2 did come out. Linkin Park isn't on the list at all, so yeah, there's that. But a couple things that I want to bring up. So firstly, we're going to talk about Palworld, because there are two news stories that, well, one I really want to talk about. The other one, I kind of forgot was even a thing, but since, might be a bit late on it. But, no, actually, before we get to the Palworld stuff, I'd like to announce that there were, in fact, a good couple of nice players that were able to get the platinum trophy for Concord, because Concord obviously shut down a few days ago. And it seems that 69 players have been able to reach the platinum trophy. So absolutely nice. Fucking love it. You love to see it. Rest in peace, Concord. Maybe you'll come back as a free-to-play game, because I imagine that's what they're going to do. They're going to try and get money out of it. They're going to try and make a net positive from Concord. I do not think Sony will... Actually, now that I think about it, given the news that I just saw today, that's probably not going to be a possibility, because I saw something that, I think Firewalk, so that's the company that developed Concord, their CEO... I think just stepped down? Because yeah, here we go. Concord director steps down as studio behind historic PlayStation flop. Wait, yeah, so right now there's speculation that Sony is gonna start, they're gonna start putting in layoffs. They're gonna start laying off the workers of Firewalk, and there's speculation that Sony could also shut down the studio, so yeah. But that's kind of like the big thing with Concord, is that the director of the game stepped down from Firewalk. Which, at the end of the day, it is obviously the developers who are getting punished. Which is unfortunate. Because a lot of it is really just leadership being fucking idiots. That's a story for another day. Yeah, you have SmackDown moving to 3 hours. It's stupid. I don't know why. I don't really know what else I can add on to that. But, yeah, no, we're going to talk about Palworld. So the first thing that came up earlier this week was there was speculation that Palworld was going to go free-to-play. And that they were going to go for a free-to-play live service model, which people were not okay with, and they took that reception to heart, and so they were like, you know what, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna make it. We're gonna keep doing what we have been doing with Palworld. We're gonna keep it as a game you gotta buy. You gotta buy to play. We're not doing live service. So, awesome stuff. You also have Space Marine 2, the Saber Interactive CEO coming out and commenting how Space Marine 2 is kind of a response to the current game industry, because right now you have every fucking multiplayer game being live service. And Space Marine 2, there is no such thing in Space Marine 2. I'm not even kidding. There are no microtransactions in Space Marine 2. There's nothing. Every piece of armor that you can get from any chapter of Astartes Space Marine, you can unlock just from playing the game and winning matches and doing operations, which I think is really cool, and I think that's how it should be done. There's also one of the things that Helldivers 2 did a really good job of. Even though Helldivers 2 was live service, there was a way to get cosmetics via just playing the game. Like, I was seeing stories of people basically being able to get 69 nice credits, $69 worth of the super credits, which was the premium currency of Helldivers 2. You have that, like, you have that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, Space Marine 2, no microtransactions, none of that, and I like that Saber knows what gamers want. They know that. They know what they want. But back to Palworld, they're getting sued by Nintendo. Not over copyrights, because right now, even because, like, yeah, there's the obvious, like, thing of, like, wait, they're not going after Palworld over, like, some of the very legally distinct PALs, which, again, I think they are visually distinct enough to where, like, yeah, like, I don't think Nintendo could really make a case out of that unless it's found out that they did actually use meshes, which there has been no evidence to that as far as I'm aware. So yeah, to quote something I saw earlier tonight is that, yes, Palworld is very uninspired. However, the general consensus of what I've gotten from Pokemon fans is that it's arguably a better Pokemon game than half of the Pokemon games that Nintendo has put out over the past couple of years. But no, Nintendo is suing Palworld over, well, more specifically Pocket Pair, the company that developed Palworld. They're suing them over patent infringements. What patents exactly? We don't know. As of this stream, the patents that even Pocket Pair doesn't know what patents they are supposedly infringing on. Which patents can go down to, like, especially when it comes to, I think for gaming, it's a little bit more specific when it, like, there's got to be, like, it has to go with, like, gameplay mechanics, code. Like, for example, Warner Brothers, to put in a really good example, Warner Brothers, there hasn't been any evidence to prove that part, that the devs are AI bros. I think that was, because that was one of the first things that people were saying when Palworld came out. But the easy argument to that was Palworld was revealed a couple of years before generative AI was kind of like making the rounds. So I don't think that's I don't think that part of it is true. But regardless, so yeah, no, Warner Brothers, for example, they own the patent for the Nemesis system. The thing that essentially put Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor on the map. The thing that made Shadow of Mordor so unique among other games that we saw at the time. And which I think it's... Personally, I think it's really fucking dumb for a game company to patent and also... I think they also copyrighted it too. They copywrote the system, so you literally can't be a developer and use that system in a game. Because I think it's fucking dumb that they've only used that system for 2 games, and they're supposedly using it for the upcoming Wonder Woman game, which we still haven't seen anything on yet. But, yeah, no, they've only used it for 2 games, and also, you know, you have Warner Brothers continuing to start and cancel projects just so that they can keep the IPs. So, yeah, fuck you, Warner Brothers. But I'm getting sidetracked again. And yeah, so because I brought up Warner Brothers as an example for like game mechanics that companies have, you know, have that they have, you know, legal ownership of. And now Nintendo, the patents that are being thrown around right now, again, this is all speculation and rumor. The official court docs haven't been released yet, so we don't know what patents exactly that Nintendo are going after Pocket Pair for. But supposedly, it is over basically the entire game mechanic of capturing creatures in a capsule-like thing and then throwing them in a vicinity for which the creature is summoned. Which is incredibly fucking dumb and also very loose. Because if you remember right, and I think they did make a game out of this. Do you guys remember the old Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monsters miniseries? That had to deal with, like, Alexander the Great dealing with, like, the Egyptian gods and all this random shit. They did make a game. I think they did make a game out of that. So does that mean, like, Konami? Because, like, capturing monsters and then tossing them out in a vicinity, that can apply to almost literally any game where you do exactly that very thing. So, because as far as I'm aware, I think Temu, no, not Temu. There's a, what game am I thinking of? I think it might actually, because I'm not talking about the shitty brand. No, not Temu. Fuck, what the fuck is it called? Hold on. Hold on. Give me a minute. What the fuck game am I thinking of? Temtem, that's what it is. So it's like, what, can they go after Temtem for doing, because as far as I'm aware, Temtem is also a Pokemon-like game. So are they gonna go after Temtem for the same exact fucking thing? Are they gonna go after Konami? Because keyword tossing, capsule monsters places monsters on a board. Yeah, but again, the way the pen is supposedly, the supposed pen is worded, it's so loose that they could theoretically go after any game company that does this, even though it's a basic game mechanic that I think should be available to all game companies, which is why a lot of people are so kind of like afraid that this lawsuit is even possible to even, like, the fact that it hasn't really been tossed out yet is what's giving people, like, worried faces, because if this lawsuit goes through, then a lot of indie devs are gonna get fucked. Because say you want to make a Pokemon-like game, well, you can't do that now because Nintendo owns the fucking patent saying that you can't use that game mechanic, this basic game mechanic. You could, as the first Capsule Monsters game wasn't released until '98. And yeah, you brought up the other thing too, because apparently these patents, these supposed patents, weren't filed until late this year. So long after Palworld was already out. So the fact they're filing this lawsuit now after that they have already filed for these, again, this is all supposedly, allegedly, we don't know yet, because for all we know, they could come out of left field and go, we suspect that this game is using our game code, which is something that they could actually go after Pocket Pair for. Because if Pocket Pair did allegedly steal game code, then yes, that is something that Nintendo can legally go after them for, because game code is technically does fall under copyright laws. Again, this is all also under Japanese laws, because both companies are from Japan, and I don't 100% know how laws in Japan work, or even patent laws and how the fuck those work in Japan. And I don't even know how patent laws work in general, so yeah. But basic just Nintendo is suing Pocket Pair over Palworld, and it's not for what you think it is. So yeah. I suspect that we're gonna get the court docs release if this does go through. I suspect we'll get them like in the public eye like in a couple days. That's what I'm guessing. And we'll see exactly what it is that Nintendo is going at, like what patents exactly Nintendo is going after Pocket Pair for. But if it is for the ones that are being speculated right now, then it is incredibly fucking, because I wouldn't be surprised, because like a lot of people are saying, oh, this is Nintendo being petty because Palworld sold better than half of the majority of the Pokemon games I've released over the past couple of years, which does sound like Nintendo, because Nintendo doesn't like it when anything even they don't like it when you sneeze in their general direction, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's kind of like the big news for this week. Again, we don't know. As I've been saying with a whole lot of news stories recently, is that we won't know until we actually get like an official post from stuff and things. But anywho, I'm gonna talk about something a little bit fun. God of War Ragnarok and Final Fantasy 16 have released on Steam. So that's cool. Yeah, God of War Ragnarok being released at full price, $60. I mean, I've already had my yeah, I don't know, $60 is a bit much. But I do like that with this release of Final Fantasy 16 on PC, the game itself is only being released at $50. So the game released at full price on release, and then PC release, they're releasing it at a discount. So yeah. Square saying Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and 16 can be. Well, Square Enix also has unrealistic expectations. And that is not a secret to anybody. Like, I think they were expecting was it Babylon's Fall? They were expecting that game to sell fucking like millions of copies, and that game just fell off the wayside. You can't even get it anymore, as far as I'm aware. I think they literally just pulled it from any store. But yeah, no. Square Enix is known to have unrealistic expectations of their games, so I'm not surprised that they said that. I don't think any game they release, no matter how actually successful it is ever going to meet their expectations. So yeah. But anywho, that's basically what I got for tonight.